Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pioli Corner for this week. Obviously, this is going to be a good one because we are going to be looking at the pre and post game comments from Pioli. And in the beginning, he's going to be joined by Benacer. So let's get right to it because this is some interesting stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it. Question one. Ismail, this Milan is winning convincingly. Eid Mubarak, by the way. I think this Milan can be compared to the Scudetto team that reached the highest point in the last 2 years. What do you think? Benny answers, it's a different Milan, but I think for me, an even stronger one. We have different players with lots of quality. We are more experienced. We also have a different spirit. We are even younger. On the pitch, we are all prepared to die for each other. Next question. Ciao, Isma. This is Luca Bianchi from the Gazzetta. So Ramadan has just finished for you. A particular period for you when you change how you eat and how you live your days. Can you tell us from a spiritual but also athletic standpoint just how things are different and how you have faced these changes? Benny answers, sincerely, not a lot has changed because when it's Ramadan, Mr. Pioli helps us a lot. He handles things very well. I am grateful for this. For me, things are even better now. Yes, eating and drinking gives you more energy, but I generated data during Ramadan that I have never generated before. So I am better, yes. Next question. Ismail, ciao, it's Pellegatti. Usually it's you who makes assists, but today I will give you an assist and you can score a goal. How many Milan players between Real Madrid and Man City could feature in their squads? Give me some names. Benacer answers, for me, almost the entire squad. We are strong. I did not see anything between Real Madrid and City that we could not match. I cannot choose just one or two players. Pellegatti says, even Benacer? And Benny responds, even Benacer if needed. At this point, Benacer left the room and left the interview to Pioli. So, next question. Mr. Pioli, I would like your assessment of De Rossi and the changes he has made to Roma. Also, I'd like a comment if the significant commitment he has in Serie A to finish in the European places might be an advantage because he has to balance two very separate objectives. Pioli answers, I think that tomorrow De Rossi will start his strongest squad. This is an important objective for both of us. They know well our characteristics and qualities and our condition, like we know theirs. They come to us in good form, having just won the derby. But with De Rossi, let's remember that they have only lost a game against Inter. All our focus is on the game tomorrow, and I am sure it will be the same for them. Yes, he has changed the team from the Mourinho approach, from their defensive to their attacking styles. So, we have not revisited the videos from the Serie A games we played against them, only the games where De Rossi has been on the bench. Next question. Mr. Pioli, how would you assess, like the question we asked to Benacer, this Milan against the Scudetto winning side? Pioli answers, Benacer said the right thing. This is a different squad. Our approach to the game is different, but we have to remember that Milan achieved something very important, something incredible. We're now entering a phase which will result in our judgment for the season. This is a really important period. The judgment on this squad will depend on our performances from here. Next question. Mr. Pioli, I would like more of an assessment of De Rossi and the changes he has made compared to Mourinho. Pioli answers, to me, the most important thing about being a coach is to be credible, to have the players and staff believe in the project, to be completely available and to be focused. This is what you see in De Rossi's team. Then the other changes, they're not easy. Roma with Mourinho defended in numbers. The team tomorrow will be different. We have suffered with squads that defended deep and also with squads who attacked aggressively. Honestly, I do not know what choices he will make. Many squads, when facing Milan, adjust their tactics. We know their players, of course, and they know ours, but we do not know how they will deploy their squad. We know our strengths, and much will depend on our application. Next question. Mr. Pioli, what are you willing to risk to give us a spectacle like the one that Real Madrid and City gave us? Pioli answers, my squad always take risks because it's made to be offensive and built to attack. When we have the ball, we try to put opponents in difficulty. Clearly, we won't always have the ball, but we will look to take the ball back as soon as possible. If you want a team to play like this, you naturally take risks because you leave spaces that can be exploited. On paper, tomorrow, two teams will take to the pitch that could play a spectacular game. And in the squads, you have players that can score great goals, like examples like Foden, Guardiol, Valverde, or even compared to Gabi Jesus in the other game. Next question. Mr. Pioli, looking at the Real Madrid v City game, is this the level that Milan and the style of game that Milan wants to achieve? Pioli answers, I was paying attention to the previous question Pellegatti asked Benacer about players from Milan that could have played that game. If you looked at the fact that we made the semi-final of the Champions League, then we're not so far away. We got to that game in not the best condition possible, and yes, we faced an opponent that was superior over those games. But I do not believe that we are far away. Clearly, we have to grow a bit, but it is clear that at this phase of the Europa League, moving forward, we have some big teams, despite being a level below Champions League. For example, if Leverkusen or us were in the Champions League, no one would be shocked. Anyway, we're in a tough round and we aim to make it through. It will be difficult and complicated. Next question. Mr. Pioli, good afternoon. Regarding the defense, we would like to know why you have chosen Chow ahead of Kier. What do you see as the reason he is the best replacement for Tomori? Pioli answers. Ficaio and Pierre have great characteristics of speed and aggression that others have less of. I'm trying to put on the pitch defenders with characteristics that pair well with Roma's attackers and the positions on the pitch that they want to take. The physical condition of Chow and Kier are similar. Hence, I have chosen the player that I think is the best fit for the match tomorrow. We now move on to the post-game interviews. Mr. Pioli, this wasn't a usual Milan, at least for the first 75 minutes. Pioli answers, we had some difficulties. In my opinion, in the first half, we had to make better decisions on the ball. We had to show more bravery. Instead, we didn't trouble the central defenders very much, giving them too much time to play. Yes, sure, we created a couple of chances, but we conceded a goal from a corner kick where they were clearly smarter than us. These are situations that can weigh heavily. Ultimately, we did not play the game with the clarity and quality that we wanted to bring. We could have equalized. A draw was definitely there for us. There is another game. I believe that the squad can do more, that it can do better. We still have the ability to correct the situation. Next question. Milan today seemed to be missing something from a tactical standpoint. We saw a new dimension from Roma from the first minute with El Shaarawy on the right. Or would you say that the quality of the individuals made the difference? Pioli answers, no, honestly, El Shaarawy on the right is something we did not expect, but it didn't actually change anything. Okay, in the game preparation, they decided to attack the right flank instead of the left flank, clearly to try and find a solution to nullify a pairing of Theo and Rafa. They may have found less space where they found less space to develop situations. But we did create chances. We had lots of shots, but not with the precision and quality needed, and the game became harder. We had chances to equalize. We couldn't do it. Certainly, the Rossi put in a squad that I liked a lot. More aggressive, more compact. For sure, you have to take more risks if you want to beat such a good opponent with such quality. We did not create chances to unblock the game, and when we went down, we were unable to create the chances to equalize. Next question came from Beppe Bergomi. Mr. Pioli, I'm quoting you. We have to make braver decisions. From the outside, I can see that you needed to be more attentive, but can you explain where you had to be braver? Pioli answers. We were set up to be aggressive with two strikers in Leao and Giroud against the two Roma central defenders. Clearly, we knew that Dybala was going to play on the shoulder of our midfielders to create a numerical advantage in their build-up, to break our central defenders. At the beginning, instead, we maintained a 2v1 with Lukaku too much. This forced Reindeer and Benacer to constantly get involved in 2v3s to recover a lot of balls. We played high, but we were not aggressive. This is an error that you cannot commit. This is something that we have to do better. Then, I repeat, they had the quality to break the high press, to skip players with 1-2s. But the application was different to what we had prepared, and we were less attentive, especially at disrupting their central defenders. Then I always prefer to talk about football and not refereeing decisions. But the offside on the corner that gave rise to their goal. Abraham wanted to head the ball, but he did not. He handled the ball. But oh well, we have to do better for sure. It's not that we need an incredible game. We have to play at the level we know we can, with more clarity, and we can reverse the result. That completes Pioli Corner. Very interesting interviews on both sides. I think it was quite interesting to see his interaction with Benacer in the pre-game. There's definitely a lot of care there, a lot of protection around the player that Pioli is giving, which I can see the player really appreciated. This is something that you only get to see if you view these interviews in their full lengths. On the post game, you can see that he had quite a lot of regrets, and he felt that Tammy Abraham's initiation on that move to Lukaku to get that corner involved an offside. However, he admits to the fact that El Shaarawy was in a position that he did not expect. That's a bit of a disappointing statement to hear, but at least, I think that's the truth. He really was caught out by it. So what did you think of the statements? Please feel free to comment, and see you again next week.